How's everyone doing? Welcome back to the channel. We got a pretty good one for you today. We got a mock PSA, a return submission. Just gonna pretend to go through these like we don't know what they are. But I'm gonna also go over why, especially if you're new to collecting cards, even if it's not just Pokemon, any other card, why PSA is just a step above everyone else. And there's a couple of different reasons why, and I'll go over all of that. But I'm going to tell you guys, so there are a lot of card grading companies out there. Always try different ones, some you might like more than others. PSA is very popular, and sometimes the cards just take forever. You want that card graded quick. Maybe PSA isn't for you. But if you want the best bang for your buck, go and use PSA. And if you do use PSA, get $25 off with my promo code POCO25. Save you 25 bucks, no strings attached. Now, there are the big three when it comes to Pokemon cards. There's a PSA, well, any cards. There's PSA, there's CGC, and then there's Beckett. Now, a lot of people will say go with Beckett because if you get a Black Label 10, it's going to skyrocket in price. But the odds of you getting a Black Label 10 Beckett are astronomically low. We're getting a PSA 10 are significantly higher. Now, we're going to go through these grades really quickly just to show you my cards that I have with PSA. And then we're going to go over the pricing difference so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So, first card up here, we have Grapplocott V from Champions Path. It is a PSA 9. Now, I did all this stuff on recently sold on eBay. So, these numbers are all accurate. Grapplocott V for a PSA 9 sold for $9 on eBay. For a CGC 9, it took best offer under $10. Didn't say exactly what it was. Beckett, it didn't have any for Beckett. Next up here, we have ourselves a Regigigas V-Stars Japanese PSA 10. This card recently sold on eBay for a PSA 10 Japanese version of it, $64. Where CGC sold for a CGC at 10, $45. And Beckett, I couldn't find a 10, but a Beckett 9.5 sold for $30. Next up, we got ourselves an Alt Art Unknown PSA 10. This sold for $110 on eBay recently, where CGC 10 sold for $80. Beckett didn't have any marks on there. Next up, we have a Chansey Shadowless PSA 6, recently sold for $70. I couldn't find any for CGC of a 6, but I found one for a CGC 8, sold for $40. So you got a PSA 6 selling for $70 and a CGC 8 selling for $40. Beckett, again, they didn't have any. Next up, we have a Japanese Umbreon from Split Earth First Edition. We got a PSA 9. PSA sells for $1,100. CGC, I couldn't even find it for any other grades. And Beckett, this is the only one where it beat it, PSA. Beckett Umbreon 9 is sold for $1,650. Only difference, not going to lie on prices. You guys can easily look this stuff up. Next up, we got Chikorita Reverse Holo PSA 7. Sold on eBay for $50 for a PSA. CGC and Beckett, there were no results on that. Just kind of shows people use PSA a lot more. Next up, we have a Mew EX from Paladin Fates, PSA 9. This one sells for $35 on eBay. CGC 9 sells for $22. Beckett didn't have any pricing. Metapod Shadowless Base Set, PSA 9. Crazy enough, sells for $70 on eBay. There are some lower listings, but kind of a good amount of them at $70, which is kind of crazy because you can literally buy this card off eBay for like $2 to $5. Get it, grade a bunch of them. I mean, it's a gamble, but I'm kind of looking into it. CGC at 9 sold for only $40. Beckett didn't have any, so $30 more you get with PSA. Next up, we have ourselves Belly Bolt EX PSA 9. Recently sold for $54. I'm sorry, $64. CGC sold for $50 in a 9. Beckett didn't have any. Last one up, we have Iron Leaves EX, PSA 10. Sells for $95.44 off of eBay. CGC sells for $50 at the CGC 10. Beckett didn't have any. So it goes to show people use, for selling purposes at least, PSA significantly over Beckett with the lack of Beckett cells in there. A lot of people use CGC, but as you saw with the pricings that I just gave you, PSA outsold CGC in every single one, not giving CGC a solid chance there. Now, one thing that I do like about CGC and Beckett, these guys being the big three, they're their own. To beat the best, you got to be your best. So they're doing their own thing. You got the PSA slab, you got the CGC slab, which is totally different, and the Beckett slab, which is totally different. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because PSA is currently the best. Pricing-wise, you're not going to really be able to beat a PSA. There's going to be a couple instances that a PSA will get beat by a different slab company with a certain card and grade and everything. But for the most part, PSA will always be the slab company that gets you the most bang for your buck. Now, the reason why I bring up the different dimensions with the different styles, why CGC and Beckett's nice they're different, is because PSA, like I said, is the best. So a lot of card grading companies, they know they're not going to beat PSA, so they try to be like PSA. For example here, all of these are different slab companies. And I will show you, they are all different slab companies. And what's one thing that you notice with all these different slab companies that you notice with PSA? They are all the exact same slab. Now, whether that's by choice, default, whatever it is, to me, it's just, if you're not going to beat the best, be like the best. So again, I'll show you. You got all these different card grading companies. Every single slab that you see here is a different card grading company. Now, don't get me wrong. I like a lot of these companies. Not all of them. Some of them weren't that good. But like I said, you always got to try different companies to see which one is your favorite. Some of these were phenomenal, and I really liked them, and I used them again. But a lot of these companies I will never use again because they were just awful and everything. But as you can see, they are all different companies, yet they all chose to use the exact same slab that PSA did, which just shows they're such a good company that other companies just want to be exactly like them. Now, obviously, when you are the best, like PSA, it's going to cost the best with money. PSA is more expensive than most companies because everyone wants to use them. Because like I said, you get the most bang for your buck back. When you send in a card, for example, the Metapod, you can easily buy this card for $2 off of eBay in pretty good condition. Some of them $3, $4, $5 if you want to make sure it's pristine condition. And then on the return on that minimum, most of these were selling at the low ball offer a couple of years ago was $40. Now they're starting to sell for $70, which, you're spending $4 for a card, sending it into PSA, you're getting 9, and now you're making go from $4 to minimum $40. Now, is that 100% going to happen? I got to say no, because I don't want people taking financial advice from some guy who does Pokemon on YouTube. Don't do that. But all I'm trying to say is, if you're going to go ahead and mail your cards out to a card grading company, you don't care how long it takes. You just want to mail them out there, hope for the best to get the most bang for your buck, go with PSA. Now, I do have to warn you, it is graded by people. So there is human error. I have seen card grading companies that do complete AI, and it ends up being the exact same grade every time. PSA, You could mail a card in, it can get a 5, break the slab, mail it in again, it can get a 9. So there is human error in there. But if you end up breaking it and mailing it back in, the price could be worth it and go up. So like I said, anyone who's new into the hobby, if you want to get into grading, PSA is a great company to do it, but there's a lot of other companies as well that you can use out there. I do want to let you guys know though, if you are looking at this for a pure profit perspective, 99% of the time, you're going to want to go with PSA. So next time you decide to grade some cards with PSA, go ahead and use my promo code POCO25. You get $25 off of your order. Make sure when you mail your cards into PSA, you get the insurance that is good with them. I've seen many horror stories where people mail in expensive cards and USPS destroys them or loses them, and they only get like $50 to $150 back in insurance because they didn't put enough money down for the price that it is. Just because you're mailing a $2,000 card in and you have the basic insurance, you're not going to get the $2,000 back. If you're mailing in a $2,000 card that you can get mailed back to you for $10,000 if it gets graded a 10, make sure you get the proper insurance for it. Spend those few extra dollars. I'm telling you, you will cry if you don't. I've seen the horror stories. Now I can keep going on and on about why PSA is a good choice for you guys, why you get the most bang for your buck back, why it's the most trustworthy, why it's the biggest, all this stuff. But you guys can easily look this up online as well. And just to show you into perspective here, you can just see my CGC graded cards with my PSA graded cards. There is a significant difference that you can see here with pricing. Yeah, this one obviously beats that one. But a lot of these cards, you can kind of see the more expensive ones are going with PSA. So, again, the more bang for your buck, go with PSA. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I hope this helps out a little. I will admit I am not the biggest with knowledge when it comes to grading, but all this information is basic and can be looked up online. Trying just to make a video to help out the newbie people. Check out the description down below for your PSA $25 off. I even have the link for you guys if you want to go and check it out. We also got 10% off Vault X binders if you guys want to get some to protect your raw cards. And we got 20% off with AGS. We got membership options and merch available in the merch store too. I hope you guys found this video to be a little bit useful. Don't forget to drop an interesting fact down below about PSA, CGC, any card grading company. Something that someone else might not know that could be very helpful. Even something I might not know. Alright guys, if you know the saying, say it with me. Let's make hollows great again and keep poking on. Till next time, peace.